hope you're having a good night, getting ready for bed. I know it's actually pretty early over here, but I just worked an overnight, so I'm just now going to bed. It's really bad, I know. I just wanted to say that I love you, and I hope you have an amazing night, and that you get lots and lots of good sleep. I think today I'm just gonna read to you because I don't have. I'm falling asleep and I need to get to bed. So I think we're gonna read. I don't even know what we're gonna read. I literally didn't pick anything out. I just started recording. It's something interesting. Ooh. We can read Free Will by Sam Harris. I have already read parts of this, so we're just going to start off on the last chapter that I read. So if you see me glancing down, I'm looking at my phone to read. Okay. Whoa, dark. There we go. Okay. When we consider human behavior, the difference between premeditated, voluntary action and mere accident seems immensely consequential. As we will see, this distinction can be preserved, and with it our most important moral and legal concerns, while banishing the idea of free will once and for all. Certain states of consciousness seem to arise automatically beyond the sphere of our intentions. Others seem self-generated, deliberate, and subject of our free will. When I hear the sound of a leaf blower outside my window, it merely impinges upon my consciousness. I haven't brought it into being, and I cannot stop it at will. I can try to put the sound out of my mind by focusing on something else, my writing, for instance, and this act of directing attention feels different from merely hearing a sound. I am doing it. Within certain limits, I seem to choose what I pay attention to. The sound of the leaf blower intrudes, but I can seize the spotlight of my attention in the next moment and aim it elsewhere. This difference between non-volitional and volitional states of mind is reflected at the level of the brain, for they are governed by the different systems, and the difference between them must, in part, produce the felt sense that there is consciousness self-endowed with freedom of will. As we have begun to see, however, this feeling of freedom arises from our moment-to-moment ignorance of the prior causes of our thoughts and actions. The phrase free will describes what it feels like to identify with certain mental states as they arise in consciousness. Thoughts like, what should I get my daughter for her birthday? I know, I'll take her to the pet store and have her pick out some tropical fish. Convey the apparent reality of choices freely made, but from a deeper perspective, speaking both objectively and subjectively, thoughts simply arise unauthored and yet author our actions. This is not to say that conscious awareness and deliberate thinking serve no purpose. Indeed, much of our behavior depends on them. I might unconsciously shift in my seat, but I cannot unconsciously decide that the pain in my back warrants a trip to the physical therapist. To do the latter, I must become aware of the pain and be consciously motivated to do something about it. Perhaps it would be possible to build an insentient robot capable of these states, but in our case, certain behaviors seem to require the presence of conscious thought, and we know that the brain systems that allow us to reflect upon our experience are different from those involved when we automatically react to stimuli. So consciousness, in this sense, is not inconsequential, and yet the entire process of becoming aware of the pain in my back, thinking about it, and seeking a remedy for it results from processes of which I am completely unaware. Did I, the conscious person, create my pain? No. It simply appeared. Did I create the thoughts about it that led me to consider physical therapy? No. They too simply appeared. The process of conscious deliberation, while different from unconscious reflex, offers no foundation for freedom of will. As Dan Dennett of many others have pointed out, people generally confuse determinism with fatalism. I can't speak today, I don't know why. This gives rise to questions like, if everything is determined, why should I do anything? Why not just sit back? Ooh, we got left in the dark. Girl. We got left in the dark. What happened? Oh no. 1 second. Oh, it's always some bullshit. Oh, goodness. Okay, I forgot where I left off. As Dan Dennett and many others have pointed out, people generally confuse determinism with fatalism. This gives rise to questions like, if everything is determined, why should I do anything? Why not just sit back and see what happens? This is pure confusion. To sit back and see what happens is itself a choice that will produce its own consequences. It is also extremely difficult to do. Just try staying in bed all day waiting for something to happen. You will find yourself assailed by the impulse to get up and do something, which will require increasingly heroic efforts to resist. And the fact that our choices depend on prior causes does not mean that they don't matter. If I had not decided to write this book, I wouldn't have written it. It wouldn't have written itself. My choice to write it was unquestionably the primary cause of its coming into being. Decisions, intentions, efforts, goals, willpower, etc. are casual states of the brain leading to specific behaviors, and behaviors lead to outcomes in the world. Human choice, therefore, is as important as fanciers of free will believe. But the next choice you make will come out of the darkness of prior causes that you, the conscious witness of your experience, did not bring into being. Therefore, while it is true to say that a person would have done otherwise if he had chosen to do otherwise, this does not deliver the kind of free will that most people seem to cherish, because a person's choices merely appear in his mind as though sprung from the void. From the perspective of your conscious awareness, you are no more responsible for the next thing you think, and therefore do, than you are for the fact that you were born into this world. Let's say your life has gone off track. You used to be very motivated, inspired by your opportunities, and physically fit. But now you are lazy, easily discouraged, and overweight. It's me. How did you get this way? You might be able to tell a story about how your life unraveled, but you cannot truly account for why you let it happen. And now you want to escape this downward trend and change yourself through an active will. You begin reading self-help books, you change your diet, and join a gym. You decide to go back to school, but after 6 months of effort, you are no closer to living the life you want than you were before. The book failed to make an impact on your life. Your diet and fitness regime proved impossible to maintain, and you got bored with school and quit. Why did you encounter so many obstacles in yourself? You have no idea. You tried to change your habits, but your habits appear to be stronger than you are. Most of us know what it's like to fail in this way, and these experiences are not even slightly suggestive of freedom of will. But you woke up this morning feeling even greater resolve. Enough is enough. Now you have a will of steel. Before stepping out of bed, you have a brilliant idea for a website, and this discovery that the domain name was available for only $10 had filled you with confidence. You are now an entrepreneur. You share the idea with several smart people, and they think it is guaranteed to make you rich. The wind is at your back, your sails are full, and you are attacking furiously. As it turns out, a friend of yours is also a close friend of Tim Ferriss, the famous lifestyle coach and fitness guru. Ferriss offers to consult with you about your approach to diet and exercise. You find this meeting extremely helpful, and afterward you discover a reservoir of discipline in yourself that you didn't know was there. Over the next 4 months, you swap 20 pounds of fat for 20 pounds of muscle. You weigh the same, but you are fully transformed. Your friends can't believe what you've accomplished. Even your enemies begin to ask for your advice. You feel entirely different about your life, and the role that discipline, choice, and effort have played in your resurrection cannot be denied. But how can you account for your ability to make these efforts today and not a year ago? Where did this idea for a website come from? It just appeared in your mind. Did you, as the conscious agent, you feel yourself to be created? If so, why not just create the next one right now? How can you explain the effect that Tim Ferriss's advice had on you? How can you explain your ability to respond to it? If you pay attention to your inner life, you will see that the emergence of choices, efforts, and intentions is a fundamentally mysterious process. Yes, you can decide to go on a diet, and we know a lot about the variables that will enable you to stick to it, but you cannot know why you were finally able to adhere to this discipline when all of your previous attempts failed. You might have a story to tell about why things are different this time around, but it would be nothing more than a post hoc description of events that you did not control. Yes, you can do what you want, but you cannot account for the fact that your wants are effective in one case or not in another. And you certainly can't choose your wants in advance. You wanted to lose weight for years, then you really wanted to. What's the difference? Whatever it is, it's not a difference that brought you into being. You are not in control of your mind because you, as a conscious agent, are only part of your mind, living at the mercy of other parts. You can do what you decide to do, but you cannot decide what you will decide to do. Of course, you can create a framework in which certain decisions are more likely than others. You can, for instance, purge your house of all sweets, making it very unlikely that you will eat dessert later in the evening. But you cannot know why you were able to submit to such a framework today when you weren't yesterday. So it's not that willpower isn't important or that it is destined to be undermined by biology. Willpower is itself a biological phenomenon. You can change your life and yourself through effort and discipline, but you can have whatever capacity for effort and discipline you have in this moment, and not a scintilla more or less. You are either lucky in this department or you aren't, and you cannot make your own luck. That was maybe like half of that chapter. It's a very long book, but I really love Free Will. I'm only like a few, like 100 pages in or something like that, but I really like the way he puts thoughts into words, if that makes sense. I think Sam Harris has been really helpful in understanding like neuroscience and like how the brain works in regards to how you think and how memories are processed. I've read a couple of his other books, but I think this one has been my favorite so far. I don't know if you guys are gonna like this video, but I really like ASMR where they read to you, and I just haven't been able to find books that I think other people would be interested in listening to, so today I decided to just read something that I've been reading. Usually my books are romance or neuroscience or like just biology focused, and I just don't know what other people would want to listen to go to bed. You know, I think that's interesting. It gives me something to think about before I like fall asleep. But sometimes I want to be in a fantasy world, and I'll read like a romance book and I'll be like, oh, this is my ideal man. And that's what I think about before I go to bed. But yeah, I thought I would give you guys a little bit of what I'm reading today, or what I'm reading lately. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. I could start the book over or finish it or find something else to read. I don't know. But yeah, that was Free Will by Sam Harris. He's got a lot of interesting books, more geared towards like the sciences, mostly like neuroscience and like memory and how to grieve and self-help books and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all. Let me know what you guys think, and if I should do another ASMR reading to you, or if you have any recommendations or anything that you want me to read or do, just let me know in the comments below. Bye. Good night.